Have you ever found yourself mindlessly scrolling through your phone, watching one video after another, only to look up and realize hours have passed? Suddenly, you're lost in a sea of meaningless content, wondering how the last 2 hours slipped away. This is something most of us experience regularly. It's called brain rot, and it's slowly destroying your ability to focus, think clearly, and achieve anything meaningful. It's not a rare condition, and it's not something you can just ignore. It's something that's secretly affecting us all, and if you don't address it, it could ruin your productivity, happiness, and even your mental health. Let's break it down. Imagine you've set yourself up for a productive afternoon. You've got your textbook in front of you, a cup of coffee by your side, and a study plan that's ready to be tackled. You're focused and determined to get some serious work done. But then, your phone buzzes. Just a quick check, right? You open Instagram, and boom, a funny reel pops up. It's harmless enough, right? You'll laugh for a second, then get back to your work. But before you know it, you've scrolled through 10 more reels. You've seen a dog dance, watched a cooking hack that you'll never use, and then a prank video that left you in stitches. You check the time, and suddenly, an hour has passed. Your textbooks, still untouched. Your coffee, cold. And your mind, completely scattered. That's brain rot in action. The moment your attention is diverted, your brain goes into autopilot. You're no longer engaged with what you were doing, and it takes a long time to regain that focus. Did you know that after a distraction like that, it takes about 20 minutes to get back into the zone? And the worst part? Every time you pick up your phone or click on a link, you're setting yourself back even further. Now, let's talk about how brain rot doesn't just ruin your study session. It spreads throughout your entire day. You tell yourself you'll take a short break, but that break turns into hours of social media scrolling. You start watching a YouTube video, then another, then another. Before you know it, you're so mentally drained that you skip your planned jog and just lounge on the couch. Netflix is calling, so you give in. 3 episodes later, it's dark outside, and your entire afternoon has evaporated into thin air. Here's the kicker. The next morning, you wake up feeling groggy and drained. You stayed up late trying to make up for lost time, but now you're even more behind. This becomes a cycle. It starts with a harmless scroll, but ends up ruining your productivity, your relationships, and your well-being. You may think this is all just an over-exaggeration, but the science is real. The more time you spend on your phone, watching videos, scrolling through social media, the more your brain becomes conditioned to constant stimulation. Researchers have found that excessive internet use lowers activity in areas of the brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and focus. It's like you've trained your brain to need these quick hits of dopamine, the same chemical released when you eat something delicious or win a game. But the more you feed your brain these little bursts of pleasure, the more it demands. Just like with drugs, your brain starts to crave more and more stimulation, which makes it even harder to focus on anything important. That's why we keep scrolling. It feels good. Every like, every new notification is another tiny dose of dopamine, and your brain gets hooked. But here's the problem. When you don't get that fix, you feel anxious, restless, even depressed. And as you scroll, you start comparing yourself to others. Why does everyone else's life look so perfect, you think? But spoiler alert, they're only posting the highlights. What you don't see is the behind-the-scenes struggle. Another dangerous aspect of social media is how it destroys your attention span. It's constant interruption. You're reading an article, and then a notification pops up. You check it, reply to a message, maybe like a few posts. But by the time you get back to the article, you've forgotten what you were reading. This kind of constant interruption retrains your brain to get distracted easily. Over time, it becomes harder and harder to focus on anything for more than a few minutes. And let's talk about loneliness. Social media has tricked us into thinking that we're more connected than ever. But studies show that the more time you spend on social media, the more likely you are to feel isolated. You're replacing real-world interactions with virtual ones, and that's not the same. Humans need real face-to-face contact. We're wired for it. You can't replace a meaningful conversation over coffee with a thumbs up on someone's post. Here's the good news. You can beat brain rot. It won't happen overnight, but with some effort, you can reclaim your focus, energy, and mental clarity. Start by unfollowing those accounts that leave you feeling like crap. You know the ones. The people who post perfect vacation photos or fitness pics that make you feel like you're not doing enough. Instead, fill your feed with content that inspires and motivates you. Follow accounts that challenge you to grow and bring value into your life. Take a break from your phone and do something meaningful. Call a friend. Go for a walk. Find activities that demand your full attention and bring you joy. You'd be amazed at how good it feels to strike up a conversation with a stranger at a coffee shop, or to reconnect with an old friend in person. Real human connection is irreplaceable. Your phone is a tool, not your boss. Set limits on how much time you spend on it. If you need to, use apps that block distracting websites. Give yourself permission to disconnect. Trust me, you won't miss out on anything important. In fact, you'll gain so much more by focusing on what really matters. Replace the time you spend on mindless scrolling with something that engages your brain. Read a book, play a sport, or take up a new hobby. Do things that challenge your thinking and help you grow. The more you feed your brain with enriching activities, the less room there is for brain rot to creep in. Lastly, pay attention to your mental well-being. If you're feeling anxious, stressed, or depressed, it might be time to step away from social media for a while. Engage in activities that promote mental clarity, like meditation or journaling. Your mind needs rest just as much as your body. Here's the truth. Brain rot is a silent killer. It's not going to show up with flashing lights or a loud alarm. It'll sneak up on you, little by little, until it takes away your ability to focus, think critically, and live a meaningful life. But you can fight back. You control your brain, not the internet. Don't let social media or endless distractions dictate your life. Take action now and reclaim your focus, your energy, and your future. If you want to stop brain rot, it's time to take back control. Don't just scroll through life. Live it. Take the steps to engage your mind, challenge yourself, and focus on what truly matters. By the way, if you want to keep learning and growing, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time, take care.